Hey everyone, I'm sorry I can't be on the call with you guys live tonight. I do have another full-time job that I have to be at tonight. I work at Vanderbilt Medical Center as a CAT scan tech. Aside from being a full-time Beachbody coach, I am also full-time there. My name is Elyssa Goldstein, and I just wanted to share a little bit of social media with you regarding Facebook and Instagram. I'm not too familiar with Twitter, but a lot of this could probably be applied to that in some aspect if you're more familiar with that form of social media. So I just wanted to go over some of the basics, tips and tricks, things I found out that people weren't really familiar with when it came to Facebook and social media, as well as Instagram, and how to make Facebook posts that won't get lost in the news feed. I'll teach you how to make some scroll stopping posts, some ads for hiring new coaches or running your challenge groups, and how to get people to stop and read your ad and not just keep on scrolling through their news feed. And I want to help you figure out what kind of coach you want on your team too. You know, what kind of person do you want to be working with every day and be on your team? So that's kind of what we're going to go over tonight. And first, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me and how I became a Beachbody coach. So in 2013, I had a few people approach me to be a coach. Two were Beachbody, another was some other company that I didn't really even understand and I wasn't interested in. The way these people presented their business, it was just more like they were in it for the money and not so much to help me or want me to be part of their team. And I was just kind of like turned off, not interested. So fast forward to 2014 in February, I had to have emergency open heart surgery due to blood clots that were in my lungs. They should have killed me. If you're familiar with how serious of an illness that is, there's a little picture up there of part of my CAT scan, which is crazy because that's what I do. So when I saw that and how sick I was, I knew it wasn't good. But large clots like that normally kill people, so I had to have emergency open heart surgery that day to have the clots removed physically from my lungs. Normally they're just dissolved with heparin, or your body can dissolve them on their own, but mine were too big for that, so they removed them. And a month later, I met the love of my life. He is in the Army and we're engaged. I'll be getting married when he comes back from deployment. So I met him in March, and then I started with a 21-day fix in April of 2014 because I knew that without being able to work out like I used to, nutrition was going to be a very important part of my recovery and staying on track and not gaining a whole lot of weight. When I was used to eating and working out, I wasn't going to have as much working out to balance out my meals. So I figured the 21-day fix would be a good tool to have to help me stay on track, and it was. And then I wanted to pay it forward and have some stability with a job and the craziness of the Army lifestyle. I knew that he was the one, and that's kind of why I brought him up. So with, the Army moves you around every couple of years. A CAT scan job I could probably find wherever we ended up, but I wanted a job that I could know would stay with me as we moved. No matter where the Army sent us, I would always have a job. I wouldn't have to worry about applying every couple of years. And then in a couple of years too, when we have a family, that way I can stay home with my kids one day. That's always been a dream of mine, is to be able to raise my own children from home. And so I became a coach then to pay it forward in July of 2014. By August, I hit Emerald, and I became Diamond in February of 2015. So I'm a pretty new Diamond. So I think that's all about me. We'll get into the meat of this training now and about social media. So just a few basic tips that I have discovered recently over the past couple of months. Direct messaging on Instagram is something that it took me a long time to just kind of stumble upon and figure out on my own. And I shared it with my team a couple weeks ago, and I was kind of surprised about how many other people on the team didn't know how to direct message someone. So I just thought I would throw this in there in case anyone isn't sure how to do it. So on your home screen, you'll see if in step 1 here, the bottom left-hand corner is your home button. So that would be like if you're scrolling on Instagram, that's your home screen. On the top right-hand corner, there's a little box, and that is your direct message button. So if you click on that, it will take you to step 2 in the middle of the screen here, and you'll see it says direct up at the top. Those are all people that I have sent messages to, and that's kind of like your inbox. So if you hit that plus sign, you'll create a new message, and then it will have you pick your picture you want to send, select filters to put on it, just like you would if you were posting a picture. And then after you filter your picture and have the one you want, it will take you to step 3, which is to write a caption with the picture. And then you can select your recipient from the list below who you're sending this to. So when I've had people comment on my stuff about Shakeology or they're interested, so instead of responding to them publicly on my wall, sometimes I'll write, hey, I'm just going to send you a direct message, and then I'll message them this way instead. And I found that that works out really well. So your profile must also be public for hashtags to be seen in the little search column. If you click on the hashtag, it will bring you up to all the other hashtags that are the same and the pictures that correspond with them. But if your profile is set to private, your picture will not be seen and your hashtag won't be seen in that search. So just keep that in mind as you're making hashtags and stuff if you want them to be seen publicly. Otherwise, it will just be your followers that can see the hashtags with your picture. One little tip about Facebook I have is not everyone knows how to navigate their public and private settings on Facebook. So this icon that the arrow is pointing to that's shaped like a globe, that means that your information is set to public. To change that, you would click on the globe and it will come up with, it will say friends, friends only, friends of friends. You can change who you want to be able to see your stuff. But for Beachbody purposes, all of my stuff is always public. I may have personal posts and stuff that I only want my friends to see, or family, so I can change that, and I tweak some of my stuff that I don't want out there publicly for everyone to see. But that's good to know if you have a health or fitness page, something that's not as personal, you want everything to be public so your friends' friends can see it. You don't want to limit who is able to see your invites and your challenge groups and what you're posting about. So I love this quote. It's going to kind of lead us into everything that we're talking about in creating posts and advertising. So you're not supposed to advertise to everyone. If you advertise to everyone, you will connect with no one. So to not let your posts get lost in the news feed, we have some tips for you. And because I know a lot of us are guilty of just casually scrolling through Facebook, and you might see something, skim it, keep on going. So we don't want that to happen when you're posting for new coaches or new challenge groups. So you want to create a post that connects with people emotionally, whether it's entertainment or inspiring them. You want to add value to their day, something that that'll make them stop and think or bring a smile to their face, make them really connect with what you are posting. You want to have also, you could also target certain audiences. A lot of us I am not a mother, but a lot of people know how to post stuff that will engage other mothers, or for me, it might be people in the Army. So you can also kind of target your posts that way, and you might know a way to post that will emotionally connect with someone on that level. With me, with Brian being gone and being deployed, there's a lot of posts that I make that I connect with people that way that are also going through separation from their significant other and can relate, and will start a conversation that way. So you have a unique opportunity to use social media not just to make money, but to make a difference in people's lives as well. And everyone on this team is unique and different and has something special to bring to the Beachbody world and our team. And everyone's journey is going to be different. You don't want to compare yourself to others, which I think is super important. It's easy to do, and it's easy to get lost in that and maybe start being jealous or bitter, or you're not going at the same speed as someone else, and that's okay. We're all at different speeds and different levels. You don't want to compare yourself to others. Immerse yourself in a successful mindset and successful habits. Do your 3 vital behaviors every day. Make sure you're doing your power hour. Do those successful habits and repeat them every single day. And that will get you in the right mindset to attack the day, get what needs to be done in that hour, and it will lead you to success. So I feel like success is 80% mindset and 20% tactical. So you want to see yourself at the top, not comparing yourself to those people that are at the top, but take a moment and visualize yourself as at the top of the top, being number 1 in the company next year. 2016, you are the number 1 person in Beachbody. And just take a minute and imagine what that would feel like and see yourself there. So you want to get the scroll stopping results. And you also want to target the right people. And it's not about the number of people that like and comment, but who responds to your posts. It's about quality over quantity. So what kind of person do you want on your team? And, there's some of us like to work with just girls. Some people work with guys and girls. It's about who you can relate to. Someone with a similar background or similar history, something that you have a solid, similar foundation on, that you can work off of and, share that interest with them. Because this person is going to be in your life every day, and you are going to help them with their business, and you're going to help them grow with their health and fitness, and they're also going to be your business partner and teammate. So you want them, they're going to become like family, and that's how it should feel. You want to have that connection. So for me, those people could be loving girlfriends, wives, fiancés, stressed from their full-time job, need to get out of debt. They want more freedom of time to travel as they please, have dinner dates with their significant other, and be spiritual, self-motivated, and a glass half full kind of girl. So you want to create these highly targeted posts that grab the attention of people like you. And you're not supposed to connect with everyone or advertise to everyone. Sorry, like the quote on the previous page, you're not supposed to advertise to everyone. If you advertise to everyone, you will connect with no one. So this is an example of a post I did recently. And I did this just the other day on April Fool's, and I did it on my health and fitness page and my personal page. And when you know who you're targeting, the person that's going to respond to you, you're just going to have this crazy connection with, and they could be someone from high school or college that you haven't talked to in years, but it's amazing how the people that respond, you start talking again and you hit it off, and you just have this automatic connection, and you get the best kind of relationship for your business out of it. So this is an example of one of these scroll stopping posts that I was talking about. So a couple rules for making your post is that you don't want to have everything in one big paragraph. So as you can see, I used a couple 1 to 3 sentences. Hit that enter button. Do not be afraid to hit enter. It is your right to exercise that enter button as much as you want. It makes it a little bit easier on the eyes to see if you have more spaces in between things. If someone sends you a big paragraph, or you see someone posting this huge paragraph, you're not going to read it. You're going to keep on scrolling your feed and find something short and sweet to read. So exercise your right to hit that enter button every, 3 sentences or so. You want to talk like you're talking to one person, not everyone. I didn't really, I guess, do too good of a job on this post as saying, hey, sister, or, something like that to address who I'm talking to. I could have done that better in this post, but you don't want to do something like, hey, y'all, or hey, everyone, everyone look, or, like you don't want to use that. You want to make them feel like you are talking to them and that they are the only person you are trying to talk to at that moment. You also want to be yourself, because if you're not, people will see right through it. If you don't usually say, hey, sister, you don't want to be saying that, because people are going to know that that is not you. Just because it might work for someone else, and you think that might work for you, people are going to see right through it. If it is not you, do not say something like that. That's what people are going to connect with you. So that's what's really important. People buy into you and your results and your story. It's not about, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a minute, but they buy into you, not the product at first. They haven't gotten their results yet. They haven't used the product. They haven't been doing the 21-day fix for 3 weeks and have before and after pictures. They're buying into you, your results, and your story. So they need to relate to you, and they don't want to see you acting like someone you're not. They're going to see right through it. Your first sentence must be attention grabbing. You want to make them curious. So since this was posted on April 1st, I said this is not an April Fool's joke. And that kind of got people interested. I did have more views. You can't see, it's cut off because below the picture here. But that is, I had more views on this post than I did in any other post that I've made on my health and fitness page, because you can't see how many people view your posts on your personal page, but I always go back to my health and fitness one to kind of get an idea of how many people have been viewing my posts. And you want to share your story and how this business has given you freedom or will give you freedom. So, and you want to make people be able to relate to it. Those kinds of people that I mentioned earlier that are, loving wife or girlfriend, they're stressed from their job, want to get out of debt, want to travel, have more time with their family. You want to kind of find a way to mention those things and share your story. So I talked about my surgery and how I had bills from that I had to pay, and how I dreamed of a life where I could spend more time with my boyfriend when the Army actually allows him to not be weight training or deployed. So that kind of, also resonates a little bit with those other Army wives. And or have more time to travel as I please, to go home to Pennsylvania, because my family is up there and that's a 13-hour drive. I can't just up and leave my full-time job at the hospital whenever I want and go up there. So, those are kind of things that I mentioned earlier: freedom of time, travel, leaving a full-time job, getting out of debt. Try to mention all those things and share that in your story. And then what resonates and what doesn't. If people like it, and that's great. You'll be able to tell by the people that comment and like and share if they like it. And if it doesn't, and the post bombs and no one sees it, and you get crickets and you're just like, what happened? That's okay. You can just delete it like it never happened and try again, and maybe find something to tweak or change or add a way to make it so people will connect with it a little bit more. But if it does work, you want to post similar content to that. And it's okay to even reuse some content. I have some Transformation Tuesday pictures that are just so awesome, and people love to see transformation pictures. So I reuse some of those again, maybe once every other month or so. And so this brings me to brand idols. Anthropology is one of those people that they know their target audience and who they want to shop in their stores. They do not advertise. If you think about when was the last time you saw an Anthropologie commercial or saw an ad in the newspaper or something, they just don't advertise. They know their customer and they know specific things about their customer. And this is a little article that I found from another coach. She shared this, and it says, just a little excerpt here. It says, "We have one customer, we know exactly who she is. And we don't sit around the table and say to each other, what do you think she'd like? We're out there, we're in the stores, we're in the marketplace, we live where the customer lives. Ask anyone at Anthropologie who the customer is, and they can rattle off a demographic profile, 30 to 45 years old, college or postgraduate education." Sorry, that part cut off. I couldn't read it. Maybe married with kids or in a committed relationship, professional or ex-professional, annual household income of 150 to 200,000. But those dry matter of facts don't suffice to flesh out the living, breathing woman the anthropologists call our friend. I like to describe her as a psychographic term. She's well-read, well-traveled. She is very aware. She gets our references, whether it's to a town in Europe or a book or a movie. She's urban-minded. She's into cooking, gardening, and wine. She's a natural curiosity about the world, and she's relatively fit. So as you can see, they know who they're targeting. They know how much money she makes, her age, she's married, professional, what kind of hobbies she's in, gardening, traveling, cooking, all kinds of things. And that's kind of, like what we talked about earlier, a loving wife, stressed from their job, needs to get out of debt, wants more freedom, wants to travel, wants to have more dinner dates with her husband, things like that. So they know exactly who they're targeting when people come into their store, and they know things about those people. And that's kind of what we are striving for here. That's our goal. So another thing at the end of your post is you always want to have a call to action. You want to end each post with this and say something like, if this post really resonated with you, hit the share button. Super easy, simple. They don't have to do a lot. Hit share and then hit OK, and it will go to their page. And ask for the engagement that you want. You do not want people to write a lot. You want to keep it short and sweet. If you ask people to write a whole bunch of stuff and ask them a million questions and tell them to do stuff, they're 100% less likely to do it. But if it's short and sweet, like leave a comment or leave a smiley face or leave a thumbs up, something like that, people are going to do it. And then you'll be able to tell, what content people like and don't like and what you want to reuse or not use later. So it's just a good way to reference and judge how your posts are doing and who's seeing them and what kind of people are reading them. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as social media goes. I have this picture here that it just kind of says, you can see the top of it. It says, if you want financial freedom, in 8 months, I was making 1/3 of my full-time CAT scan salary after 10 months. And I can quit my job soon. If you want freedom of time, I work when I want, from wherever I want. If you crave more family time, financial freedom plus freedom of time equals more family time. And if you want to make money and make a difference through this business, or through business and health and fitness, then this is for you. So I just kind of put that all there in a nice little picture. Let me see if I can find it real quick by sharing my screen. So here it is. So I just used that as my little flyer. It was kind of, I used some bright colors to catch people's eyes. I tried to keep it short and sweet. as well as with the ad that I was actually writing in the post. And who doesn't want more financial freedom and freedom of time and want to travel? I mean, so that's targeting the people that I want to be working with on my team. So I hope you all found this, helpful, and um, I look forward to hearing back from you all how this worked out for you and seeing all of your new news feed stopping posts in the near future. All right, so hopefully you got something out of this. Do your homework and start sharing your story. All right, thank you.